All right. Number 2, adding and subtracting fractions. Adding and subtracting fractions. The one thing that you have to always remember to do is, let's start with an easy one. 1/4 plus 2/4 equals. Add the top numbers. 1 plus 2 is 3. Don't add the bottom numbers. 4. 3/4. Done. Same thing with subtraction. 5/6 minus 2/6. Am I 6 right? Yeah, that's a 6. Right? Yeah. Upside down and backwards is tricky. 5 minus 2 is 3. Do anything to the bottom? No. Keep them the same. 3/6. Can I simplify 3/6? Why, yes, I can. They're both divisible by 3, so that would be 1/2. The only trick, that's it. That's all that adding and subtracting fractions are. You do with the top numbers and you leave the bottom numbers the same. What happens if they're not the same? Then you must make them the same. 1/2 plus 2. 1/2 plus 1/4. Can't add those together. I need to make them the same. So I'm going to need to change one or both of these numbers so that they're the same. This is pretty easy. What do I multiply a 2 by to turn it into a 4? 2, right? So multiply by 2. And remember, always the same on the top and the bottom. You're going to multiply the top times 2 and the bottom times 2. Because, why is that? It's because 2 over 2 is the same as 1. And 1 times any number doesn't change it. 4 times 1 is 4. So if you multiply 4 times 2 over 2, it's still 1. It's still 4. Because 2 over 2 is 1. So this one, 2 over 2 times 1/2, that half is going to stay the same. It's just going to look different. I'm going to move this over here. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So now these are the same. Now the bottoms are the same. I can add them together and I get my 3/4. That's it. So you need to change that. If the numbers at the bottom are different, you have to change them so that they're the same. Sometimes you're going to change both the numbers. 1/2 plus 1/3. This one isn't so easy. I can't just change a 2 into a 3. So I'm going to have to change them both into the smallest number I can, just so I don't have to do so much math, so much multiplication. What number do they share in common? What multiple do they have in share in common? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. 3, 3, 6. Oh, they both share a 6. I'm going to change them both into a 6 on the bottom. How do I change a 2 into a 6? Multiply by 3. Do the top the same, always the same, 3. So 1/2 is the same as 3/6. This 3 I'm going to multiply by 2, so I have to multiply the top by 2 as well. 2/6. 3/6 plus 2/6. 3 plus 2 is 5 on the bottom. You keep them the same, 5/6. So you're looking for... So when you have to change the bottom numbers, you're looking for a multiple. A multiple just means a number that you can get by multiplying it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 6s, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. So let's do one more. What the heck? 2/3 plus 1/4. I'm going to make it really hard for you, I'm sorry. Plus 1/5. I got a 3, and a 4, and a 5. And so now what we need to do is, I'm going to write down 3, a 4, and a 5. And I want to find a number that all 3 of those share in common. I think it's going to be a really big number, to tell you the truth. What does it go? 5, 10. Those numbers don't go in there. 15. Oh, 3 goes into 15, but 4 doesn't, so I have to keep going. 20. 3 doesn't go into 20. 25. Neither of those go in there. 30. Neither of those go in there. I'm going to keep going and going and going. Now, one trick to do, so we don't have to keep going and going and going, is just multiply these 3 numbers together. 3, 4, and 5. What's 4 times 5? 20. What's 3 times 20? 60. So I know that a 3 can go into 60, a 4 can go into 60, and a 5 can go into 60, because I multiply them together to get 60. So I'm going to change this into 60. Oh my goodness, I have to multiply that by 20. 20, so it's 40 60ths. How about the 4? To multiply 4 into 60, it goes 15 times. Multiply it by 15, that turns into a 15. So it turns 15 60ths. How about that 5th? What's 5 times? 5 times what is 60? 5 times 12 is 60. So that's going to be 12 60ths. So I know my answer is going to be in 60 on the bottom. 40 plus 15, 55 plus 12. 55 plus 12. 55 plus 12 is 67. 67 60ths. Do I need to simplify? Yes, I do, because the number on top is bigger than the number on the bottom. This is a pretty easy one to simplify. How many times does 60 go into 67? Just once. Certainly not more than that. 2 times 60 is 120. So just once. 67 minus 60. What's my remainder? 7. 1. 7 60ths. So when you have, adding and subtracting fractions, all you do with the numbers on the top, and the numbers on the bottom have to be the same. Before you can start, make sure the numbers at the bottom are the same. If they're already the same, you're done. Just add the numbers on the top, subtract the numbers on the top, whatever. That's